Here are some fancy fun facts about your quiz on Monday. Things that I now know that I didn't know a couple of hours ago. But having written all three versions of the quiz, I can tell you that there's 12 questions on the quiz. I can tell you that exactly four of them are going to come out as fractions. And I can tell you that one of them is going to be a little bit harder than the others. Okay. And I've made it problem number 12 on all three versions. So the questions are all scrambled around in all the classes. But I can tell you that every class will get a number 12 that's a little bit above and beyond. And I'm not going to go over that with you today. That's going to be like an extra challenge question. Okay. So in no particular order, here are some questions like what you're going to see on the quiz. So here is, let's do this one. So what do we do first on this one? Yep. Yeah. Listen, the reason this problem is going to be on every version of the test is because there are people who are going to add 18. I'm sorry to be pessimistic, but the fact of the matter is it's going to happen. To get rid of this 18, knowing that it's a positive 18, you have to subtract 18 from both sides. So this question or something, I mean, just like it will be on your version of the test. Make sure that you know to get rid of the number, not the x, but the number. So we're going to bring down negative x equals, what's 5 minus 18? Negative 13. Mhm. And then how do we finish the job? Right. Divide both sides by negative or negative 1, which gives you x equals positive 13. So make sure you're comfortable with that process, right? What was it? 4. This is not a new question. This is an old, maybe a homework question or some or practice quiz or something. Again, for those of you paying attention, there will be a question just like this on the quiz. And actually, you might think there's two questions like this when you get to the quiz, but one of the questions that you think is this, you have to be really careful. On one of them, the number right there is going to be a positive, and in one of them, the number right there is going to be a negative. So that's a huge difference between the two problems. So if the number there is a positive, that's really good news because when we go to multiply, we don't have to worry about signs. So we just go this times this and this times this. And those answers are 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24K. And then you just copy down all the rest of the stuff. In my opinion, when I think about this question from your teacher's perspective, I think about test one, did this student distribute correctly? So test one has been passed. Test two is, does this student know that next we have to combine like terms? Right. And that's where I find every year, no matter how hard I try, I still see people who want to like get rid of the 3 or something. It's like, no, 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 no. You need to put this term together with this term. And 24Ks minus 15Ks makes 9Ks. And then you have to put this term together with this term, which is 7. So we're going to have plus 7 equals 35. And so the two tests primarily for me are number one, did the student distribute correctly? Number two, did the student know to combine like terms? And then from here, it's just a basic two-step equation. The straggler in this case is the 7. And so we want to move him out of the way. Stragglers will always be eliminated by plus and minus. So we're going to just drop down now. The 9K just drops down here, the equal sign, and then, of course, 28, right? And then what's the last step? Yeah, exactly 4 of your problems. I'll tell you all of this again on Monday when everybody's here, but exactly 4 of your 12 answers on Monday are going to be fractions. Uh, so I just want you to be mentally prepared for that. We don't want you to think something like, oh, I got a fraction. I must have done something wrong. It's just going to happen. Does that make sense? You okay with that? Okay. I'll just pick another kind of quiz-like question. I'll pick one that I think will be challenging for people, and I'll just make up a new one. Like, let's do negative 5/6 of x equals 7/12. I get a lot of questions about these problems. Um, the first thing you should look for is, are there any stragglers? And the answer is no. If you don't know what I mean by that, if there were any stragglers, there would be a number like over here with this box that I'm moving around. There'd be like a plus or a minus something, and there's not. So we know we can go right in and attack. So the attack move in this case, does anybody know what the attack is? Yeah, this is a multiply attack. So we're going to parenthesize the whole equation, and we're going to multiply by what?
-6
Mm-hmm.
on both sides.
Yeah. And I can say that 179 times, and it doesn't. I mean, people either listen or they don't. Common error is people forget that this has to be a negative when they multiply. So you got to multiply by a negative so that the negative kills the negative, the 5 kills the 5, and the 6 kills the 6. And then you drop your x down. And then, oops, I forgot to do it on the other side. So I have to multiply by -6/5 over here as well. It's time to reduce. And so once we get to the math portion, we haven't actually done any math yet at all. We've just followed a procedure, but math is pretty unavoidable. So we're going to take like this number, and we're going to divide them both by 6, which turns them into a 1 and a 2. And then what else are we going to look for here? Right. Yeah. And when we talk about reducing, it has to be a number from the top. So like, can either of the yellow numbers reduce with either of the green numbers? And the answer is not anymore. We're done, right? So once you reach that point of saturation, you just go 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 5 is 10. And then another common error people make is we get so wrapped up in doing the math, we forget, and I should have done this 30 seconds ago. This number is positive. This number is negative. So we know the answer is negative, right? So it's just -7/10. Mm-hmm. Sure. Will you read it? Will you read it to me? Is it like this? Do we see any stragglers? He's not a straggler. So, and maybe I should stop using that word, but when I talk about a straggler, what I'm talking about is, are there any numbers like off to the side? There's not. Stragglers are the numbers I kind of think of as they're kind of off in their own little world, adding or subtracting just I like the way you said that. So like this right here is just one big division problem. And so we don't want to mess with that if there's a straggler. But like in this problem, you would agree that there is no straggler, correct? Okay, so we are ready, just green lighted to go in and multiply away. Anytime you see a fractiony sort of situation that has to be dealt with, multiplication is your friend. And what are we going to multiply by? Hmm. We're going to cross those out, and then we're just going to bring a bunch of junk down. 10 plus b equals what?
Positive.
A.
And
And then what do we do after this?
then subtract.
Subtract what? Subtract what? Hmm. Yep. And we're done. B equals 2. That's all she wrote. Here's another one that I know is going to cause some trouble. Like I wish that it weren't true, but it always does. So let's do like negative 2 times x minus 3 minus 3x plus 1 equals like, I don't know, 4. So what do we do first? Right. And this is a tough distribution just because you got a negative. This negative that I'm pointing to right here will it's the game changer sort of negative. I hate that. I wish it didn't cause so much trouble, but it does. So what are we going to get when we distribute? Hmm. Yeah, see, I can already tell you're not going to be one of the people that falls for that. So thank you for that. Good job remembering to change your signs. And then we'll copy the rest of it down and we're ready to press on. What's always the next step? You remember what to do at this point? We don't want to get rid of anything. I love those sweet words. Thank you. Combine like terms. Well done. So we're going to put the X's together, just old school, just basic addition. What's -2 and a -3 added together? Just add them. -2, -3. You borrow $2, you borrow $3 more. Yeah, you're at -5. And then we're also going to take these numbers, we call these constant terms. They don't have any variables. Put them together. What do you get? +7. And because I'm just making these up on the spot, I'm not being mindful as I go of fractions or non-fractions. So if it turns out that it doesn't divide well here in a minute, then we just go, okay, no big deal. It's a fraction. Who cares? So what do we do next? Excellent. Subtract that 7 on both sides. And then we're left with -5x equals, nice job. And then what do we do? We don't get rid of the 5x. We get rid of the number that is attached to x, okay? To be clear. So you don't want to get rid of any x's. The whole mission here is to sweep and clear all the stuff away from the x, right? So that -5 has to go. How do we kill him? Division. Good job, man. So we're going to divide both sides by -5, and we're going to wind up with x equals an answer. And the answer will be positive because it's two negatives dividing. And what is 3 divided by 5? It is 3/5, right? Yep. Guys, is there anything that you any type of problem that you want to practice more or fractions? Sure. Let's do some more with fractions. How about this one? Let's do -42 equals 6/5 of x. We can hit as many fractions as you want. We have in this class until 11:16, so we still have like 6.5 minutes. We could get a couple more done, so you let me know. Any stragglers? Nope. We don't have to do any plus or minus moving. We just have to do the the flip kill, right? Flip kill. And what are we gonna, well, we're gonna do parentheses. And what are we gonna multiply by? Good job. I gotta pause this real quick. Enjoy your Doritos. So the reason I wrote this problem for you is it's not just another fraction problem. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because like it starts out and feels normal, but what I want to test on this problem is, does everyone know how to tackle this purple box? You know that to put a 1 underneath the 42? What's what's that? Did you know that before? Okay, good, good, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the negative 42 and I'm going to change it into negative 42 over like this. And then the trick here is what you don't want to do. I don't know where this comes from. You do not want to multiply like this because you're going to get really big numbers. So what we want to always think is, can I shrink the numbers before I deal with them? And the answer usually is, yeah, that's going to happen a lot. So if we know our times tables, we know that 42 and 6 can both be divided by 6 is correct. So if I divide these both green numbers by 6, the 6 becomes a 1 and the 42 becomes a 7. You with me? So at this point in time, I go back and before I math, I want to do big picture. This first number is a positive. This multiply number is a negative. I know my answer is going to be a negative. I like to get that out of the way. And then now that I've got everything reduced, I simply go across the top and do 5 times 7, which is 35. 1 times 1, which is 1. So my answer is just negative 35. Got it? Does that kind of make sense?
Figure out the box.
I feel like I've covered a lot of ground here. About 3 minutes. Does anyone have any more nagging sorts of problems that are kicking your butt? Guy, are you okay? Okay. You good, Willow? So I want to say again, since I'm still recording, your quiz will be Monday, whether you're here today or not. If you're not here, you're watching this video. If you are here, maybe you'll watch it again. I don't know. Let's how many questions are on the quiz? 12. All right, I said it again, 12. Listen, I tried to do 8 and then I just realized there was more stuff that I needed to test. So it's 6 on the front, 6 on the back. Do you remember me saying how many of the answers are going to be fractions? 4. Exactly 4. Whether you're in second hour, sixth hour, or seventh hour, you're going to have 12 questions. And I made sure that 4 of them in each class come out to be fraction.
Okay.
And number 12 will be a challenge. All right. It'll be a little harder and it's nothing you can't do. It's just got one tiny little extra bit of twist, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. So if you need help, there's lunch today at 11:46. You could stay and get help. We'll come back and get help, or you could, I could pull you right now into my flex for Monday because I have it's all ready to go. Or you could do lunch on Monday if you need some guidance. We good? Any issues or questions? Okay. So the next time I see you in class will be Monday. And again, whether you're here today or one of the people that took the day off, quiz is Monday regardless. Cool. All right.
One of my ones was wrong.